Alright, first episode of Millionaire Mukbang. Guest star, Richard White. What's going on with you, Rich?
Not too much, man. Just super busy as always. I'm not really slowing down with the whole virus situation.
Yeah, we can't say that word. It's a
Oh,
toxic word on this
okay.
platform.
All right.
So I just call it either the Rona or the Modelo virus.
Due to the whole situation.
Yeah, so has it really affected your business?
It has. It's got me just kind of scrambling around, just trying to figure out how to adapt, how to adjust. But I mean,
So
but so
entrepreneurship 101, just adapting to your environment.
exactly. Yeah, the biggest thing that's changed for me is for my business model. I do buy and hold real estate, single family, and it's changed the financing landscape in a pretty big way.
Alright, so the piece is cut.
Awesome.
So, do you think there's going to be a huge crash in the real estate market after all this is all over with?
It's hard to say. I think there's probably going to be a crash in commercial real estate, which I don't do commercial right now. But I'm probably looking to get into it now because there's probably going to be a lot of stuff on sale.
Why do you think it's going to crash the commercial and it's not going to crash single family?
Well, single family, people might lose their homes in single family because they lose their income, because they lose their jobs. You know, that might cause someone to go into foreclosure. You have to remember what caused, take 2008, okay, that's when everyone was losing their homes. And that was mostly because of the mortgage that they were in. And it was because of those 5-year adjustable rate mortgages, which what was happening was banks were getting people into these mortgages with these super low rates, but the fine print said, well, the rate will adjust in 5 years, and we don't really care what happens in 5 years. They just wanted to get somebody into a mortgage, so they started with a payment that they could afford. In 5 years, their payment doubled, and they couldn't afford it. So everyone started getting foreclosed on. So if you look at the commercial market right now, and then also, sorry to go back to the residential.
Yeah.
And essentially, it's the same thing. It's leverage. People were borrowing money to buy things that they couldn't really afford because the assets were overvalued. Well, in commercial right now, I'm not really in it, but I just know that there's a lot of leverage. There's a lot, and one of the reasons I didn't get in it was because the numbers. When I say commercial, I mostly mean apartment buildings for myself, but when you say commercial, you're talking about like retail, office buildings, warehouses, and multifamily apartment buildings. Well, I'm in a group of investors that buy exclusively apartment buildings. I went to a few of those events and talked to some people, and the numbers that they were putting in offers, trying to get like 8% cap rate was a really good return for them. And if they just went on the market and just kind of bought what was there, they would maybe get like a 4% cap rate. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to move into the apartment space yet because I'm buying houses in Gary, Indiana. My cap rate is 20%.
Yeah.
Even in I can buy houses off the MLS in Indiana and Gary or Hammond. My cap rates are way more than that.
Yeah.
So maybe if I had way more time or way more money than time, something like that, I would move to the apartment space. But I'm like, single family, just the numbers are too good right now. So I never even got into commercial. But
How you feel about this pizza?
it's pretty good.
Does it remind? Ain't this like New York style pizza though, instead of like Chicago?
Yeah,
Cause ain't New York known for having flimsy pizza?
yeah, it's a little, yeah, I mean, it's hard to, I don't want to say I've ever had like bad pizza, but
I've had bad pizza before.
yeah.
So, a lot of people that are in like commercial real estate, they say, like, especially like Grant Cardone, how he says like, if you have a single family home, you only have one door, and that tenant moves out. Do you believe in that, or do you believe that,
Well, maybe if you only have one single family home, but if you take that across, so right now I have 27 single family homes, and I've got a couple duplexes, triplexes, but 27 doors, mostly single family. I just look at all that combined, I look at my vacancy. So if I have maybe one home that's vacant, okay, well 1 out of 27, that's that's over 90% occupancy rate.
So it's almost the same as an apartment building.
Well, what's the difference between a 27 unit apartment building where you've got one unit vacant? So, I mean, that's the way I look at it.
That's a smart way to look at it.
Yeah, and I mean, well, here's the main reason why I like single family more than apartments is because you can get a huge discount on a single family home. You can't really get a huge discount on an apartment. I mean, you probably can, but I mean, from what I've heard, and I know people who that's all they do is apartment buildings, and they're telling me how slim and how hard it was for them to find deals. And this was like a couple of 2017, 2018, when I was going to some of these apartment events, and there's a lot of competition. They're paying a lot, and it's very easy to find distressed single family properties because everyone can fall into a single family home that because when you're buying a commercial property or a single family home at a discount, it's usually because someone else is in a distressed situation. That it's a distressed asset, we call it.
Yeah.
That means somebody's like
Financial.
they got a house that they can't figure out like what to do. It needs repairs. They don't have the money for it. You're more likely to find that from like an everyday person, like a mom and pop type person. They inherited a house. They had no idea what to do with it. Apartment buildings tend to be owned by investors, people a little bit more savvy, and they're less likely to just give away like an apartment building at 70 cents on the dollar. They know what it's worth. You're more likely to find somebody with a single family home that's worth $100,000 and they're going to sell it for $70,000, and they know it too, but they're just like, hey, I just need this money right away. I have this thing in my life, so I just find deeper discounts in single family than I think you would find in an apartment building.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, and that's pretty much like business 101. Buy low, sell high. See, even like with fix and flips. I know you do fix and flips, you do buy and holds, but buy low, sell high. That's just business 101.
Exactly. I mean, it's called value investing, right? Like Warren Buffett talks about that, where the difference between investing and speculating. Speculating is just you're buying something because you think the value is going to go up in the future.
Yeah.
Investing is buying something at a discount. You look at the fair market value of that asset, or what you think the intrinsic value of the asset is, and you're buying it cheaper than what you think it's actually worth, or the fair market value. So, I mean, that's really what it's all about. It doesn't matter if it's houses, commercial, apartment buildings, cars.
I always believe, because, like, as you know, I got into wholesaling at first, and then I had pretty much kind of put on the back burner, which I still could do it, but then I got into e-commerce, and the reason I was pretty much looking at my return on investment as in wholesaling and a lot of time management as well. I feel like my e-commerce business is a lot more passive, and I was getting higher returns on investment. Like right now I got a product that's doing 600% return on investment. So, and then I started seeing ads, just because I'm in these two different fields, I started seeing ads of people comparing e-commerce to wholesaling, and they were saying, like, they were kind of downing e-commerce, and they were saying, like, this is a more stable business, and you're going to learn how to buy better assets just by doing wholesale deals. But I was like, at the end of the day, if you're making money and you're getting money and you're putting it where it needs to be, to me, it's like, who cares how you make the money? You know what I mean?
That's so true. And like, you know, you play to your strengths. You do what you're good at. Mm-hmm. Like, Grant Cardone made, you know, multifamily apartment buildings like work for him.
Yeah. And
I mean, I don't know like all of his story, but I'm imagining he got in at a really good time.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if I, like, when I looked at by the time I was getting into the commercial apartment landscape, I took a look at what was happening in the market, and I just thought, like, you know, why am I going to work this hard to get this little discount when, I mean, there's no reason for me to stop doing what I do, especially the market in Northwest Indiana that market was just blowing up, and there was still a lot of room for it to grow, and so I don't know, I just kept doing what I was doing.
So like right now, for like people that are wanting to get into real estate, what would your advice be? As like 2020, everything that's going on in the world, what would your advice be of, like, is this the time to get in, or is it when's the time to get in?
Any time is the time to get in. You just got to know kind of what's going on. So I really like the buy and hold strategy. Single family rental real estate, buy and hold. It's like a can't miss. In the long run, it's the best way for kind of the average person to like build wealth, to really like even become like, say, like a millionaire. There's just so many different like ways that there's like depreciation, tax benefits, appreciation. The best way to look at it is like when you use leverage, it's like you're borrowing, you get a mortgage from the bank, so you're borrowing money that your tenant is paying off for you.
Yeah.
So if you could take out a loan that someone else would pay off for you, how many of those loans would you take out, right? Probably as many as you could.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's more to it than that, because you have to make sure that, you know, you have the means to pay that loan back. If your tenant, you know, like if your tenant stopped paying rent, you know, what happens then, which is something that landlords are having to kind of deal with right now, some more than others. I've been fortunate enough, at this point I haven't had a tenant miss a payment yet because of the virus. But yeah, I mean, when this whole thing kind of started happening, you know, I was a little nervous. But yeah, as far as right now, the buy and hold, a big part of the buy and hold is one, the asset. Okay, getting the property. I mean, you can have a great rental property with a lot of equity, but if you can't get it financed, it doesn't really work as well as it's supposed to. You need to be able to get like financing from the bank. You have to have good credit. So
right now would be the time to get your credit straight, or is right now the time to start shopping?
I think it's always the time to. There's always deals in any market, up or down. And the market was really it started to heat up the last couple of years. It heated up a lot, and you saw a lot of people jump in. And I think you're going to see a lot of people jump out now. So I think now is a great time to get in.
So there's a lot less competition now?
I think there's a lot of people that are going to go away, a lot less competition, a lot less riffraff. And then also you're going to see some stuff go on sale. You're going to see some distressed assets. You're going to see some people who over-leveraged and have to fire sale some good assets. I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing stuff that from investors I know, like personally, like seeing them sell stuff that I know they wouldn't be selling unless they are kind of need to sell or struggling in some way. I don't think it's going to be quite like it was after like 2008 when banks were selling off like 100 foreclosures at a time. But you're definitely going to see some stuff go on sale.
Are the banks? Is it going to be a lot harder now to get loans, or do you think because I heard like the credit scores they're going up on the credit scores? You got to have they're making it harder to qualify for a loan. Do you think that's something that's going to come down like within like some months, or do you think it's going to stay there for some years?
I think it's going to get harder. I think the unemployment. I think right now the Fed is propping up a lot of the mortgage market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, interest rates are at 0, and from what I know, the Fed is buying a lot of almost any financial. So, like, what happens with your mortgage is when the regular person gets a mortgage, it used to be the bank that you got the mortgage from kept that mortgage for 30 years. You paid them, and okay. Well, now almost every time a mortgage, you sign your name on a mortgage, it gets sold like the same day to a secondary market.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and that's and that didn't go away after 2008. And then that secondary market gets sold to, and they still chop them up and put them in these like assets that they call mortgage-backed securities. So after 2008, when that crash happened, the Federal Reserve came in and bought a lot of these mortgage-backed securities, which became worthless after everyone started foreclosing, because this mortgage-backed security, it's an asset backed by a mortgage. People stopped paying their mortgages. That security is now worthless. So the Federal Reserve just basically bought all this stuff that was worthless in order to keep the economy afloat, to keep banks lending to each other, lending to people. So they're kind of doing the same thing right now. I know they're buying up a lot of. Only now the biggest bubble is in the commercial mortgages, banks lending on commercial properties. That's a bigger bubble than residential. So right now the Fed is buying. I mean, there's people that could explain this in a lot more detail, but the Fed's buying a lot of these financial assets in the secondary market. These mortgage-backed securities, these securities backed by commercial loans, commercial real estate.
All right. So, where are we at?
Gold. Yeah. Yeah, the same for me. If I just had cash, because I'm still, my business model is still, I'm very active. So I have more, I guess you would say I have enough time to like, if I have money, I'm going to put it into my business, and I'm doing everything like that. If I had money that I was just investing, just purely like putting it into some asset as a passive investment, I would just buy gold right now.
Yeah.
But none of my money is set aside like that. Every dollar I have is going back into my business to keep acquiring properties.
Yeah, it's same what I do, and my motto is live broke or stay broke until being broke is being rich. If that makes any sense, because it's like all the money that I make, it doesn't mean anything because it goes right back into the business, and it's almost like you keep fueling this machine that to the point where it's like you're not even touching any of that money. You know what I mean? Like even the money from my businesses, I don't go buy a car or anything. It goes right back into the business, and I just live off of the money that I make from my job. But
that's the way to do it. That's
it's because it's like it's fun. Just that's the beauty. Like that's the fun part of business is watching something grow that you built.
Absolutely. yeah, it really is. And so how do you feel about like where do you see
where do you see your business going? Like, what is
See, I think after this, I've been making a lot of videos about this. I believe that e-commerce is the world after this, especially like there's a lot of people that are like baby boomers and even the generation after that they feel like people that are my age. And I just found out the other day that I'm not a millennial, so that kind of mind blown. But
yeah, you're too young. I'm a millennial there.
But so basically, I believe that there's a lot of people that never use platforms like Amazon or eBay or even Walmart online. And what's going on is everybody's transferring their business model to e-commerce because they're trying to compete. And what people don't understand is they're saying it's lazy and why would I buy something online and have it delivered to me when I could just go to the store? But now everybody's at home and they have to order online. So I believe like just by them clicking on it, it's like, that was pretty easy. You could even go to like DoorDash or Uber Eats, you know, how they're bringing the food to you, because a lot of people are afraid to go to the store because of the whole Modelo bug. But
yeah, that's true. Because if you think about it, your market's almost growing. Like you have people who maybe weren't e-shoppers, maybe they've never even bought anything online. Now they have to. So maybe maybe that's causing.
It made, like they just said the other day that Jeff Bezos will be the first trillionaire.
I saw that.
Yeah, and it's like, and it took this to do it, but it was going to happen regardless. And I believe that, like, if you are in any type of business or you want to start any type of business and you're thinking of going brick and mortar, I believe that you'll just be gone. Like, it's going to be like poof. And everybody's like, well, no, that'll never happen because people want to go to the stores and go buy their clothes and they want to try it on before they buy it. But there was kids that wanted to go to Toys R Us and play with the toys before they bought it, and now they're gone. You know, it's like what people don't understand about business is people think that business runs off of what you want to happen, but that's not how it works. If I have a store like Toys R Us and everybody's buying their toys on Amazon, and I can't keep, like, I gotta pay rent for this big, you know what I mean, for this building. So if I can't afford the rent, I'm gonna sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I believe that all these brick and mortar stores is gonna put a lot of them out of business.
Yeah, I agree. That was another reason I stayed away from the commercial space a little bit, because I mean, office space, retail, like those are, I agree. They're going away, and you're seeing it. Like, I mean, there's always going to be brick and mortar stores, but it's going to be totally different. I mean, even before e-commerce took over everything, like retail space was way overbuilt, office space as well. I mean, like malls and it was already overbuilt. So now, I mean, you're already seeing it. It's a wave. Like JCPenney just went bankrupt today. That's like a 100-year-old retailer. Sears, and
Dress Barn. Like, there's so many of them, but it's like they can't compete. But I believe, because everybody feels like it's hurting the U.S., but what I believe is we have to be able to adapt to our environment. So, like me, I'm an e-commerce seller. You know, I have 2 employees. I believe, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but if you want to have job security, go where the jobs are at. You know, don't go somewhere that the jobs are disappearing.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part of being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, is that like you were saying, it doesn't really matter so much how you make the money. I mean, it does a little bit, but we're looking for opportunities, and then we're finding, well, we're best at how we can meet like those opportunities, right? So, I mean, for you it's e-commerce, and for me it was real estate, and but particularly residential, because I kind of looked at the commercial space, and I mean, and you can find opportunities in commercial, and but I just thought that, well, it's such, I mean, residential, single family residential is such a no-brainer, especially when I got into it in 2011, because that was the bubble that had popped, was single family residential real estate. and that was on sale like nothing else. Like it was just like man, banks were giving away properties. They were literally, if you had like, and that I was just getting into it, so I didn't have any experience, any like money, but yeah, if I could take like $1 million cash and go to a point in time in history, I would go to the United States housing market in like 2010 and walk into any bank and say like, show me your foreclosures, and they would give you a spreadsheet of 100 properties, and you could just say, I'll take all of them. And they were I remember talking to investors, and they would close on 30, 40 properties at a time, and at the closing table the bank would be like, hey, we just got 2 more, we're just going to throw them in there, no extra money. Just they could not get rid of them fast enough.
So when is that going to happen again in your perspective?
Well, it's never going to happen not in residential anytime soon, but I think it's going to happen one way or another in commercial, because like you're saying, we got all these, it's like a perfect storm, like e-commerce, the Modelo thing,
the bug,
all that happening now is gonna, and retail was already in trouble before this, overbuilt, over leveraged, all these things. Now tenants, like look who is in the biggest trouble right now: restaurants, like movie theaters. Like these are tenants of, like, this is the revenue stream for commercial real estate. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna see some stuff go on sale, I think. But yeah, I'm just maybe gonna start looking at it because you have to have some cash, and like I said, all my cash is kind of spoken for at the moment. But if I did have a big chunk of cash like right now to just go spend on an asset, I would be sitting on it still. I would probably wait a few more months to see how things are gonna like shape up before I really like.
I heard it's gonna be real big in October and November. Would you agree with that?
I mean, who knows? It's
everything's just up in the air.
Yeah, it really is. But I would just wait. I would sit and I would wait until it becomes obvious, because in 2010 it was obvious. It was just like, it was a no-brainer.
So why was it so obvious? Like, it was just everything was for sale? Because at that time I was so young, I wasn't even.
Yeah. It was, and that's why I even got into real estate. Like I wasn't like, oh, I was a real estate investor and then this happened and it was a good opportunity. It was like I was just randomly reading books about the like I was like a food delivery driver. I was doing like I was writing sketch comedy at like Second City, taking classes, doing just like whatever. I was just out of college. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, but I was doing like some poker, sports gambling, just random stuff. But I just started reading. But then after the crash, I was just like, oh, well, I'm just gonna read a little bit about it and kind of see what happened with that, like what is that all about? And then and there was just this big bubble in the single family housing market, and my stepdad had some rental properties, and so I started asking him about it, and kind of got started. Like, he kind of coached me through my first deal, and my cousin Matthew invited me to a real estate seminar, and I went. And at the real estate seminar, the guy was explaining how the numbers work on a rental property, and I was doing sports betting, and sports betting, you're trying to find these very like slim margins. Like, okay, I got a 2-point spread here. Like, I've got like a 2-point advantage, which is really small if you kind of think about it. But like rental properties were just like such a no-brainer. Like, there's just in the long run, it's you can't really like lose money on a rental property unless you just borrow like or way over leveraged. But yeah, at any rate, yeah, that was the asset that I started looking into, and it just turned out to be the right one at that time. I just wish I could have gotten more of it at that time, because by the time because the other part of that was like, oh, wait a minute, I wasn't financeable. I was self-employed. I didn't really have any cash. I didn't have a job. I just kind of got started using other people's money, and I had to kind of sell off a piece of, let's say, like my earnings. So I was able to, like, I was finding good deals that were cash flowing pretty well, but I did have some trouble on the refinance side until kind of years later when it started to get a lot easier. I was kind of making more money. I was a little bit more financeable, and then also banks were actually financing rental real estate properties again, because they weren't doing it until like 2013, 12. Like it was really hard to find a loan on a rental property because banks had so many foreclosures on their books. They weren't gonna loan any more money on residential real estate for. It took a while. So we're not at that point right now. They've tightened things up, but they're still like lending, at least.
I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Okay.
Now. Let you go.
I'm talking a lot.
Okay, so no, exactly what we're supposed to do. But all right, so I heard that from like 1999 to like 2008, they said like the cost of living like tripled, but the income level stayed the same. So with them printing all this money and all this stimulus checks, and like it's almost like they're inflating it. So basically what happened was the money inflated into like from 1999 to 2008, the money inflated and the jobs stayed the same, correct?
Yeah.
So by them doing this, do you think that within like a 10-year period, like what happened within the 10-year period, do you think that's going to happen within like a 1 or 2 year period? Or
That's so hard to say because, first of all, I'm not an economist. Like I'm not paying that close attention to the actual numbers. But I mean, like I said, it's this simple. Increasing the money supply literally is the definition of inflation. Inflation means increasing the money supply. So that inevitably leads to the decreasing purchasing power of the dollar. So that the value of the dollar like will go down. That's a certainty if you keep printing it, if they keep increasing the money supply.
But do you think that the cost of, like, do you think that the income level at jobs, because my biggest fear is I believe that, like I said, I believe if you're a business owner and you're hiring 10 employees to do the job and you're paying them all $20 an hour, and I come to you and I say, hey, I got this machine that could do all their jobs, and you have to pay $500,000 for this machine one time, and it'll, you know. So do you believe that they're gonna take those 10 people and they're gonna raise their income, or do you think that they would prefer to buy the machine?
Well, I mean, they're gonna buy the machine. Like, I agree with that. I think.
So do you think that income like levels are gonna decrease just because?
Well,
there's gonna be a lot of people wanting that one job.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a lot less jobs after all this is over with. So it's gonna be like, I don't have to pay him 20 no more. I could pay him 18, and I'll have a line around the corner of people that all want that job.
Yeah, I think you. There might be some truth to that, because that's one of the reasons why they say. I mean, people have different theories on why our wages have not risen. Like you were saying, the cost of living's gone up, but real wages have kind of stayed the same. And I've read a book called I forget the name of it, but the idea behind that is, the reason for that is because of it was a little bit more like right-wing kind of guy saying that the immigrants, and particularly like illegal immigrants, are increasing the like unskilled labor pool. So now these unskilled labor jobs, because you have more competition, those wages have like stagnated because you've got more workers competing for the same job. So yeah, that's kind of the situation you're describing. So yeah, in economic terms, yeah, exactly, wages would not go up because employers know that there's 100 people trying to get the same job, so I can pay them less. But I don't quite agree with, like, I know that people are saying like, oh, AI is going to take all these jobs. Just my personal opinion, I think that's a little bit more hype than reality. because I don't know. I mean, people were talking like self-driving cars. I would go back, like, see if you could find when they some of the predictions for self-driving cars. I remember reading some saying like by 2020 we were gonna have them, by 2025, and I don't think we're close. And I think AI is like no one knows what's gonna happen with that either. Like really, that there's predictions again, like they just go like all over. Some people think we're gonna have artificial general intelligence, which is what they say is like people, like an AI that basically has like the same intelligence as a person. That's kind of like the definition, I guess, is that general intelligence, artificial AIs. But like, well, once we reach that, then there's like no stopping. It'll be smarter than us, and it'll improve itself or whatever. So some people think we'll never reach that point. Like AI experts think we'll never get there. Some think that we'll get there in 2035. Some people think 2050. Some people, it's just nobody knows.
Did you hear Joe Rogan's podcast with Elon Musk? Just came out like the 7th of this month, and he was talking about the chip that they were designing. How they cut a 1 inch.
Brain.
Yeah, I was like,
Neuralink.
I'm like, I'm not ready for this yet. Can we just wait a little bit? Like, I'm not ready for all this yet.
Yeah. Again, it's.
You think it's too far fetched?
I mean, yeah, they might put a chip in somebody's brain, but like, what does it do? Like, you know, I don't argue that we're close to doing that. Yeah, they probably are, but I mean, Elon Musk, like, there's another guy, like, look at his predictions, and I mean, let me know when it happens. Like, just like really when
he was saying like next 5 years, and I'm like, man, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for it at all, to have these super genius people walking around with chips in their brain in 5 years. I don't know.
I don't know if I want that either, man. I mean, look at how they hack. Look at what they do to your computer. I mean, they can hack into your computer. Do you want to hack your brain? Yeah, you can keep the chip. I'm not.
Well, I mean, we can go on all day about this, but I kind of, like, religious standpoint, just looking at like where it talks about the mark of the beast, and I feel like that's the start of it.
I don't want to say, like, I don't want to come up like some like radical like libertarian, but I don't really trust the government. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think that giving or even, you know, Google or Facebook, all these corporations, which they these big data companies, Amazon, they basically will hand over your information to the government. And that's
they gather it for the government.
That's, you know, for themselves, and then for the government. And, you know, that was what, like, Edward Snowden, like, I mean, I don't know, paid attention to that at all, but that's kind of what he exposed, was that, you know, this is what the government has, all your data. They have your emails. They can read your emails, your phones. They can, you know, they can see they can read, you know, they can access your camera on your phone. So, yeah, I don't think I feel like we are probably already too far down that road. In my opinion, I would like, you know, I feel like maybe the less power the government has, a little bit better for the people overall. But now we're getting into politics and stuff.
But yeah, thank you for coming and doing this for me. The first ever episode, and you know, you helped me a lot through real estate and getting interested in it. You're pretty much the person that sparked my brain about it all. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you were able to come out and do the first episode of this Millionaire Mukbang.
Awesome.
But
yeah, I'm glad to be part of it, man. I hope you have many more.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm trying to get Matthew on there. I'm trying to get a whole bunch of people on it, but I want to, you know, keep it going.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
I think this was a very knowledgeable conversation.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I think you're on your way to some big things, man. Like, you're really, you know, you're young and you've got the right mindset. And yeah, so I hope this goes well for you, and everything else that you're working on, it seems like you got a good start. So
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
absolutely.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope your predictions ain't like Elon Musk predictions.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I hope his predictions do work out. Yeah, it'd be great to have all that. It'd be great to go to Mars and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Marshai, and I'm back with another video. Today is actually another reaction video, and today I'm reacting to Graham Stephan's video. He just put this out. It's called Responding to Cringe Investment Advice, Best or Worst. So it looks like he's looking at TikTok investment advice, which I thought TikTok was like kids dancing or doing like, but I guess they got investment advice on there too. So, TikTok is actually blowing up. So I'm actually probably gonna start getting on TikTok anyway. So follow me on TikTok at Amar_Shy. I think that's my name. But before we get into this video, I have to ask you if you could please press that subscribe button. You don't know how much that really means to me. Like, that means so much to me. And if you could also leave a like and a comment on the video as well, that really helps with the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get these videos out here, trying to put content out for you guys. I know you guys are in quarantine. Some states is getting out, but I feel like we're gonna end up going back. So let me, let me just get in the rhythm of posting this stuff for you. So I got some videos out for you guys in quarantine, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into this video. Let's check it out. It's your boy Marshall. Let's get into it.
What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So I would like to think of myself as being social media savvy. I got a YouTube channel, I got an Instagram account that I post on every now and then.
He does.
I even have a Facebook group that I browse every single day. But there's one thing that I cannot seem to wrap my mind around, and that's TikTok. And straight up, anytime I spend more than a few minutes on this app, it just makes me realize that I am getting old. I just recently turned 30, and already I'm starting to feel like the old man just sitting in front of this house on the porch, yelling at all the kids to get off his lawn. But anyway, TikTok is
That's
slowly
how I
evolving
feel, and I'm
from
only
comedy
23.
clips and bad acting to a place where entrepreneurs can share their business advice and teach everyone else how to be wealthy, all in the span of 30 seconds. So with that, I'm going to be pushing myself out of my comfort zone for a little bit. I'm going to try to do what all the cool kids are doing, and I'm going to be sorting through all of the business and entrepreneurial TikToks. I'll review them and tell you whether or not they're legitimate or the cringiest thing in the entire world. I'm going to be doing all of this before it gets banned here in the United States for violating privacy protection laws. So with that said, if you wouldn't mind just ticking the like button for the YouTube algorithm, it'll be greatly appreciated.
Hit the like button on my video.
You can also talk it
Hit the like button. Graham Stephan said so.
Maybe we just go back to smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm like the good old days. Thank you so much, and let's begin looking at some TikToks here. I have them up on my computer. So we're going to be starting off with this one by Ryan, and this is a really easy one to start off with because it doesn't have any annoying background music.
These are my neighbors over here. These are $2 million homes. And then you have my house, which is across the street. When you're looking at buying real estate, buy the smallest house in the best area. I have no complaints about being the smallest house in the neighborhood. Those guys' properties are going to push my value up.
First of all, those don't look like houses. Those are office buildings. Just kidding. It's actually pretty decent advice. And anytime you invest in real estate, you never want to be an outlier for the area. Typically, you'll get better resale and rental value by being one of the smaller homes just surrounded by a lot of more expensive homes. So this is true. The only case where I think this would be a bad idea is if there's a zombie apocalypse and all of a sudden he is the easiest target because he's just outside of those gates. But really though, if we look at those gates, like those look like really flimsy gates. Who are they trying to keep out of with this? At that height, what's the point? But overall, you know what? I agree with them, and it's pretty good advice.
See, what I would say is, like by me investing in real estate, I do something similar. Like I said, I'm still kind of new to real estate. I'm be honest with you guys. I'm on this channel to be honest with you guys. But, I'm still kind of new at real estate. But I was always told, kind of like what he said, buy the smallest house in the neighborhood. But that could be good and bad, because if you're in the neighborhood, like he was saying, like these are all $2 million houses and he's got the smallest house, that will work. But if you're buying in an area that isn't $2 million houses and you buy the smallest house, you know what I mean, you're not gonna get the same amount of rent or cash flow that you would get if you had a bigger house. So if you have the money and you could buy, like if you were to buy one of them $2 million mansions, you know, you're going to get more money off of it. But that's not what he was trying to say. What he's saying is his property value is higher, even though he paid less for it. But, you know, it works in different ways. If you buy in a neighborhood that, you know, if you buy a shack for $2,000 and you got all these $150,000 houses around it, you know, you're not going to be really able to sell it because they're just going to buy it to tear it down, you know, which could be good. You know, you might buy it for $2,000, flip it for $7,000. You know what I'm saying? So I say it depends on the area.
Although it's still quite the comment to say that he has the smallest house in the area while still having a 2-car garage, what looks like to be about 3,000
That's a pretty big house, though. That's what I'm saying.
Really
the neighborhood that he's in, he's not like in the smallest house.
And now we got another one. What they don't teach you in college, how to make $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Oh man, I wish that would actually be a class though. Just how to make $100,000 a year 101. Spend the whole semester just learning practical skills that will actually make you money. Like how to negotiate your salary, how to network with
school system's broken.
Other people. Which careers are most in demand? Should you do the 401k matching? What to say to your employer? When should you go off and start a business? How much money should you have saved up? Should you live with your parents until you're 45 years old? Just like real, honest, real world stuff. That's what we need to know. But no, we get to learn that here on TikTok instead. So let's give this one a shot and see what this is all about.
Hey, I'm Markayla.
Make sure you watch the ads for my guy Graham Stephan. I'm going to skip it just because I'm recording a video.
Here's something else they don't teach you in college. It's not to make 10 to 20K a month without any cash, credit, or a degree. So you want to drive around your city looking for rundown houses, okay? Once you found one, take down the property address. Here's another one. Look at this one, correct foundation.
I love how the caption is, there is so much money out there. That's literally someone's house you're filming. If you didn't know the context behind this, it looks like he's just casing places to rob. Like, oh, look at that one. There's so much money in there.
Then you go home, you go into this site called truepeoplesearch.com, punch in the address, hit search, and it will skip trace and find the property owner phone number for you. Then you call the...
Let me follow this guy. I got to follow this guy on TikTok. Hold on. I got to get to my TikTok app. Hold on, I gotta make sure I cut this out too. Where's TikTok? Oh, here it goes. What? Got a new follow, my guy. Oh, let it focus. Got a new follower. Man, hold on. Let's finish the video.
They can offer to buy their property using this formula.
At first, we got this term here, ARV, which is called after repair value, which is what the home is worth in perfect condition once you fix it up, and then you subtract 30% off of that. Then we're going to be subtracting the cost to repair the property, and then we're going to be subtracting your fee from that too. Then we may as well just subtract your soul while we're at it.
So, what he's talking about is wholesale real estate. This is the business that I'm in. I might do it a little bit differently. This is one way of doing it, but I do direct mail because I think it's more effective. I get better turnovers with direct mail rather than doing what he's doing, because basically what he's doing, he's calling people that don't want to sell their house. I'm contacting people that have distressed house that need to sell their house.
And what's left over is how much money you offer the seller. So here's a quick example of how this would work. Let's say you find a property that would be worth $400,000 fully fixed up. We're going to immediately go and subtract 30% off that. So now that's going to leave us with $280,000, but it's going to take us $100,000 in repairs. So now we're going to knock that off as well. And then, of course, you need a $10,000 fee for finding it. And that means we're going to be offering these sellers $170,000 for their home that would be worth $400,000 fully fixed up. This to me seems more like a how to insult a homeowner with a really low offer tutorial.
Would you
See, that's what I was saying. If he contacts somebody that doesn't want to sell their house, it's going to be like an insult to them. Like, you know, why would I take $170,000 for my house is $400,000? But if someone just inherited this house, or the house has distress, or they're financially distressed, like, okay, I can't put $100,000 into this house to fix it you know, I need to get rid of it because I'm paying taxes on it and I can't afford the taxes on it. And I come in and I say, look, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it and I'll put money in your pocket and you won't have to worry about it no more. So you have to contact people when the house is a burden to them.
Consider $120,000 for your property, all cash, and we can close on the date of your choice.
No, why would I consider that? My home is worth $500,000. Where did you get my number? Seriously, I get calls like this every now and then, and it's a joke.
Graham
Like, I know
Stephan
what
is
they're
hilarious.
doing. I know what my home is worth, and I'm not going to take a 50% discount on it just so you could go and pitch it to a real buyer.
Once the seller accepts my offer, I'm going to go to this website here, and I'm going to send them a purchase and sale contract for them to sign. Then you go on Craigslist, put in We Buy Houses, and look, all these investors are going to pop up. You're going to call them up and see if they're willing to buy the property over from you.
Yeah, this guy really don't know what he's doing. He don't. This is not the way to do it. He's doing everything backwards. It's wrong. Don't listen to this guy. Matter of fact, I might have to unfollow him.
For $10,000 to $20,000 more than what you got on the contract for. That, my friend, is called wholesaling, and that's how you make your money.
But then it says 100% legit if done correctly. I would question anything if they have to use the
If
words
done correctly.
100% legit. Now, as far as the legality of this is concerned, in California, it's a bit of a gray area. It's totally okay to use your own money to go and buy real estate without needing any real estate license. But if you go and advertise or solicit that house to somebody else, then that's not allowed without a real estate license, and that's a bit iffy. You're also going to need to establish proof that you had the intention and means to purchase the property yourself, not that you just drove around an area, got a home under contract, and then pitched it to some random people on Craigslist. If this is done honestly and ethically, then I don't have any problems with it, as long as it follows the law. But I will say this, even though you can make money wholesaling real estate, I rarely ever see someone successful long-term wholesaling real estate. And most people who I see making money wholesaling real estate...
Steve and Dave use eToro to
Watch the
trade
ads.
cryptocurrencies. Steve
Watch
has
the
a
ads.
watch list for...
are just teaching other
skip
people
them.
how to wholesale real estate.
Just
so I'm going to
because
go
the
ahead
video.
and rate this one a 4 out of 10. It's really good that he's getting people thinking of ways to make money, but practically and logistically, this is a very difficult one to do. Okay, so next we got another...
I'll probably give that video a 2 just because the simple fact that, like, everything that he's doing is backwards. Like, it's 2020. This is probably how they were doing it back in, like, 2002. It's 2020. Everything that he's doing, the whole formula that he had is completely backwards. You're going to waste your time. And I'm going to give it a 2 just because you're going to put that content out there for somebody to, you know, someone heard that and probably went and did that. I would feel sorry for them.
person that I reviewed.
Unless they made money. I mean, if you're making money, you know, kudos to you. But, like, this ain't the way to do it, man. I'm going to make some videos on how to do it and just wait for it. I'm going to make some videos about how to do it.
A while ago. Her name is Addison, and she is one of the larger entrepreneur influencers on TikTok. And if I remember correctly, most of her content was her dancing with the text, "I became a millionaire at 25. And then she just asks you to follow her to figure out how she actually did it. But she never actually tells you how she did it. It's more of her dancing to her becoming a millionaire at 25. But let's see how this new one compares and whether or not it's good advice. By the way, I can't play any of the music in the background because I don't want to get any copyright claims. But yeah, it's actually way more fun to watch this without any music or any context of what she's dancing to. So after watching this, it seems like these are good statistics.
What?
The only thing I found surprising was that she says it takes you until you're 32 years old on average to become a millionaire. I think maybe she meant to say that it takes you 32 years of working and saving on average to become a millionaire. Because really, there's no way the average millionaire became a millionaire at 32 years old. For that to be an average, half of the millionaires would have to become a millionaire earlier than that. So of course I had to do my own research on this, and according to
Kinda
Fidelity
confused.
and the
That
New
video
York
threw me
Times,
off.
the average age where people cross the $1 million net worth mark is in their late 50s. And even the book The Millionaire Next Door says the average
I'm gonna hit it way before. What did he say? 50 years old? Sheesh.
age of millionaires
Jesus.
is 62 years old. So I just gotta say right there, her saying 32 years old is just, it's gotta be very false. Now don't get me wrong, that certainly doesn't mean you cannot be a millionaire in your 20s or 30s. After all, if you were a millionaire by 25, I'm sure you would be dancing on TikTok too. But it's certainly not common, and it's not easy, and a lot of people take much longer than that to achieve. We could just do the math here. If you want to be a millionaire at 32 years old, and you start working at 22 years old without any student loan debt, you would need to invest an average of $65,000 a year after taxes in order to achieve that goal. That realistically means you would need an average of $65,000 a year. After all, if you were a millionaire by 25, I'm sure you would be dancing on TikTok too. But it's certainly not common, and it's not easy, and a lot of people take much longer than that to achieve. We could just do the math here. If you want to be a millionaire at 32 years old, and you start working at 22 years old without any student loan debt, you would need to invest an average of $65,000 a year after taxes in order to achieve that goal. That realistically means you would need an average income of $140,000 a year beginning at the age of 22 while also living frugally for that entire decade. Or really, who am I kidding? You could do that with $15,000 in a few months with Tesla call options on Robinhood. But if you're going to go with the traditional save money and investing at root, it's going to take you a while to get there, and you're going to need some pretty well-performing investments. Besides that, though, it's not bad advice, and I see what she's going for with this. As she mentions here, almost 10% of the population is a millionaire, so it's not as elusive as what many people think. So I'm going to go ahead and rate this one a 6 out of 10, because it's not bad advice, but I do question that 32-year-old statistic. And next, we got this one, how to buy a Rolls Royce.
Don't overcomplicate your.
You got a lot of ads.
Hey guys and gals, my name is.
I'm gonna show you guys how to do an ad. This is how you do it. Click right here. It says join for free. This pops up, and then you exit out of it. And the creator gets more money. So if you're rocking with me and you see an ad, or you're rocking with Brand Stephan, click exit out, and then go back to the video.
At the age of 24 years old, I decided to start.
Hold on, I gotta go back. I didn't hear what he said.
Not bad advice, but I do question that 32-year-old statistic. And next, we got this one, how to buy a Rolls Royce.
Worked countless jobs from the age of 15 all the way up to 24. I had to learn how to be a lone wolf by separating myself from friends and family members to be able to get to where I'm at today. At the age of 24 years old, I decided to start my own business. I worked about 18 hours a day for a year straight to be able to get here. I wanted to make sure that I had millions of dollars in the bank account before I treated myself to a $100 car. To this day, I surround myself with only about 5 people around my circle that are on the same mission as me. Success can be very lonely at the top. That's why a bus has 50 seats and a Rolls Royce has 4.
Yeah, you know, by that logic, imagine how wealthy you would be if you bought a bicycle. That only has 1 seat. Just kidding. But yeah, it doesn't really tell us how he actually went and bought a Rolls Royce. All we know is that he was lonely, he has only 5 friends, which is more people than I end up seeing in a given month, and he worked about 18 hours a day for a year. And then, of course, a Rolls Royce just magically appears with really dramatic music behind it. From all of this, though, I just gotta say, I respect the fact that he waited until he had 50 times the amount of money it would take to go and splurge on a car like this. I think it's really important that people don't just make money and then the first thing they do is go and buy a fancy exotic car. There's nothing wrong with wanting those things, but by the time you get them, ideally, you want that to be such a small percentage of your overall net worth that you don't even notice the money is gone. So I agree with that, but everything else didn't really tell us what he did to afford a Rolls Royce. I really just want to see a full income breakdown from him.
Now, my opinion on it, like, I get what he was saying. He was saying, like, man, you're gonna have to be lonely. Like, it's a lonely road to the top, like, for real, because you can't surround yourself around negative people, negative energy, people bringing you down, and people trying to kill your dreams when you're trying to, you know, reach those dreams. So you need to surround yourself around people that have similar, you know, goals in life, similar mindsets, and understand what you're on, so they can help. You know, you bounce ideas off each other. You don't want to surround yourself around people that, you know, don't have similar minds, and they keep saying, like, they don't understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. You know what I mean? I understand what he's saying.
Like, how much money does he make from Amazon FBA? How much money does he make from teaching people how to make money on Amazon FBA? How much money does he make from his investment? I want to see everything. I want to see a breakdown of how much money this guy's making. That would be a lot more valuable than I think this is. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 5 out of 10, because it's not bad advice, but it doesn't exactly tell us anything about how he was able to afford a Rolls Royce, besides having 5 friends and working 18 hours a day and feeling lonely. So now we got another one here. 5 habits that will make you become a millionaire. First of all, what's up with all these guys in Rolls Royces? I think this is now replaced with the Lamborghini.
Hey, I want a Rolls Royce, man. What you saying?
Anyone who is teaching how to make...
Man, if I had a Wraith, man, if if I had a rape, you know, ain't nothing more bossy than being in a rape. But you know, I don't be splurging my money. So
money online. Okay, so here's what we got. We got.
I'm gonna get a rape.
Meditation
one day
at your office table. Study the Burr method. Okay, put all of that money in real estate. Read and then follow him. The one thing I find kind of suspicious here is that throughout this entire thing, he's wearing the exact same outfit. I think that's the secret to becoming a millionaire. You just want to wear the same thing after your workout.
I wear this every day.
Keep that on all day long. Look at Steve Jobs. He wore the same thing every single day. That's why he was so rich. I also see a lot of these habits to become a millionaire, including reading. And I gotta say, I did my fair share of reading back in the day. The 4-Hour Work Week, Think and Grow Rich, Awaken the Giant Within, How to Win Friends and Influence People. All of those were phenomenal books. Those books are really a good platform to build on, but then after a while, you want to just go and make it happen. But I will say, we gotta rate this one, and I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. None of this is really bad advice, and honestly, I
thought
think
it
could
was a
benefit
pretty
most people
weird
who end up
video.
following
I didn't like it.
But then I came across this guy. He is giving you completely unsolicited stock market investing advice that is one day going to make you rich.
Drop shipping's the way.
Man, he's got a lot of ads.
Says one online guru.
Hey, I feel you, Graham. I feel you. Get your money.
That's what the other.
All right, everyone knows this guy, right? Richard Branson, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Coastal, whatever. Yeah, so 4.1 billion. Check that out. Net worth, multi-billionaire.
Virgin, whatever, who knows? But online it says he's worth $4 billion. So that seems kind of legit to me.
This man started Virgin Galactic. Great company. Guy loves space. You know, he's into space race, all that stuff. Check this out. Check this out. Bam. You see that? This is your chart. How's it been on the market long?
Like, it says he's into space and all that stuff, like galaxies and stars. And,
I'm confused.
And jets and airplanes and sci-fi.
What?
Seems like a good company to invest in.
There's its peak right there. You can see that. It's at about $15 right now. I say it's a buy. Give it 2 months, 3 months, maybe even less. Easy cash out.
Okay, seriously though, by this logic, we have a billionaire who's into space. That's money. Except when you actually go and look how Virgin Galactic stock has performed since he posted this video about 30 years ago, it's actually up 25%. This guy kind of reminds me of the Robin Hood due diligence, where you take the most obscure things possible and you try to twist it into some narrative.
That didn't make no
sense. It ends up
to me.
actually being really good advice and ends up working. No joke though, I actually like this guy the most from everyone I've
That video didn't make no sense.
Seen on TikTok.
This is your favorite?
He seems himself. He's honest. There's no ulterior motive here. There's no hidden agenda. It's just him giving his own thoughts on different stocks and why he's excited about it, and he is himself. So for that, I honestly have to give this a 9 out of 10 because he's not pitching anything to you. He doesn't make any money.
This is a 9 out of 10.
Virgin Galactic stock. Let's be real here. He's doing it because he's having fun doing it, and that I honestly believe is the most important from all of this. So this guy, 9 out.
I'm confused. Was this like a joke? Like, was his TikTok like supposed to be like funny? Because I was confused the whole TikTok. And then he says that it's a 9 out of 10. Like, did I miss something? Do I need to watch it a few more times? I'll do it off camera because this. Wait, just go to the next one.
And we got this one right here. It looks like it's going to be right out of an episode of Scared Straight, where he's going to talk to you into staying out of trouble.
That just blew my mind. A 9 out of 10. He said this dude is a billionaire and he likes space, money. I missed it.
Trouble and not going back to juvie, but let's give it a shot.
Go to this website, type this into the search bar, scroll down to this post. For example, we're going to pick this one. Check out the guidelines, but we're not going to be the ones writing the article. Go to Upwork.com, search for a copywriter with these filters.
This is smart.
We're going to pay someone between $3 and $6 to write this article for us.
This is kind of like finessing a little bit, but I've seen stuff like this before, and I was even thinking about doing, it's like drop servicing, you know what I'm saying? But I've seen to the point where you could do it with videos, you could do it with people reading books. It's all different types of stuff where it's like drop servicing. You can hire a guy in the Philippines or anywhere. You can even go on Fiverr and find a guy to read a book and you get paid for it, but you're paying them and they're happy because the US dollar over there is a lot more than what it is to us. So
here's an example of people that I found. Send them the guidelines and have them write the post, submit the article, make your money.
Okay, that actually seems like really interesting advice, but my first thought was, why don't the people in the Philippines just cut you out and go directly to them and make all the money?
That's what I've always wondered, but I don't think that they have as much access to it as we do. And I think that, it's like there's a bridge in the system, you know what I'm saying? Like same thing with wholesale real estate, you know what I'm saying? Or even hiring a VA for your Amazon business. Why don't they just, instead of finding the products for you, why don't they just sell the products? I don't think that they're able to sell in these markets. Or there's like there's got to be some type of gap, or they just don't even know about it. You know what I'm saying?
So I went and checked this out myself. I went on the same website. I even clicked on the same article that he clicked on. Now, first of all, this is a magazine that reaches 3.8 million readers every single month. No way is a magazine like this just letting random people out there outsource the work and then paying them for the full amount. It says that
Steve and Dave use eToro to trade cryptocurrencies. Steve does extensive research.
They require you to submit previous articles that you've written for consideration. And then they want a writer with anecdotes and a strong narrative flow who writes with a sense of humor. I guarantee you are not getting that for $3 or even $10 an hour. They also say features should be queried about 6 months in advance. You will receive a written response within 6 weeks. So this is not you just going and paying someone $3 an hour in the Philippines so you could submit it to a magazine that has 3.8 million monthly readers, and then you get paid the full amount for doing absolutely no work whatsoever. If it were really that easy, why is the magazine just not going and doing this themselves?
Very true.
I have to say I give this one a 2 out of 10 if it actually works, because like 99% of all of these how to make money online in minutes.
I think it'll work for the audio books. Like when they're paying somebody to read the books, I think it will work. But you have to find someone that reads in English and speaks pretty good English. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of gaps in there that you have to work out. But I think that it could work, like drop servicing.
For typing and like doing all this crap or watching videos online or whatever they promote. None of it really works. Okay, so that's our episode of watching TikTok business and financial advice for the day. And I gotta say, it was mostly pretty bad advice, but at least it gets people thinking about becoming an entrepreneur or finding creative ways to make money online. Like I remember reading the...
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This is just a reaction video. I honestly think that the best video was the guy that was talking about, like, this is my house. I have the smallest house in the neighborhood, and all these houses are $2 million houses. I thought that was the best TikTok. But the one with the space where he was like, this guy's a billionaire and this guy likes space. So if you invest in this company because it's a space company, that didn't make no sense to me. But hey, whatever, man. But this is another reaction video. It's your boy Amar Shai. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. And please leave a comment down below. You don't understand how much it means to me. And you don't understand how much it helps with the YouTube algorithm. I really, really appreciate it. Every person that watches these videos, everybody that subscribes to these videos, I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This is something I want to continue doing. It's something I want to do as, as like a career. And I want to bring value to people. These are just reaction videos. I know I find this fun. This is fun to me, is to react to videos and get other people's opinions and share my opinion on what's going on in the video. But, if you like the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, the comment button. Share it with your friends, man. Let's get this content out there. It's your boy Amar Shai, and I'm out.